Is it possible to have a fun, adventurous life and also be sober? Honestly, 5 years ago, that question, I didn't think it was possible. I'm a highly social person, and my entire adult life, all social events were alcohol centric. And that's pretty common for most fire, police, and military folks. Any event plus booze equals an even better event. Going to the lake, start drinking early. Golf fundraisers, even earlier because they start at like 6 a.m. in the desert. Breakfast beers, shower beers, open bars at any and every fire conference hosted by the vendors. Every hour was happy hour. When I traveled for work, the per diem cash I was given was only used to tip bartenders. Tailgates, Christmas parties, weddings, trips to Mexico. What would I even do at these things if I was sober? For me, and others that may have the quote addictive personality, alcohol made me feel better. It took the edge off. It allowed me to relax. And not everyone has that same effect. My wife doesn't, for example, but me? If one drink made me feel a little good, then all the drinks would make me feel all the goods. And 98% of the time, it worked out fine. I was the life of the party, happy, brought the fun, kept it going, no drama. I was the self-designated party starter and finisher for the fire service. And I wore that badge with honor. But 1% of the time, I could be a living nightmare to those around me. Verbally lash out at someone I love or overreact and break something like a child, just ugly moments. But we all have those, right? Blame it on my stressful life or job or lack of sleep or whatever provoked me at the time. I didn't mean it. It won't happen again. And I could say that with 98% accuracy. Then there was that other 1% of the time. The times where, oddly enough, I'd have a dark and seemingly irresistible urge to toss myself off a balcony. Where I could logically conclude that everything and everyone in my life would be better off if I wasn't in it. What even was that? A glitch? A bad day? If 98% of the time I could be great, fun, articulate, brilliant, happy-go-lucky, or so I'd tell myself, then why deny myself the good times? I could probably somehow control the other 2%, right? What percentage of good times versus bad times is worth committing to booze in my life? It's a valid question. Using the 98% analogy and having at least one drink with dinner every day, that would mean 3 or 4 social derailments per year and another 3 to 4 really dark days. So like 1 week per year's worth of bad memories for yourself and others. A little guilt and shame to carry around, but not a lot. Is that too much? Besides, I wasn't an alcoholic, was I? I'd contemplate that. Like, when I looked around at my environment and peer group, then I must not have been an alcoholic because most people drank way more than I did. My life wasn't a giant dumpster fire like that guy. But another, more existential question was also tugging at me. Could I be the best version of myself and keep alcohol in my life? If the monster only came out sometimes, is that a fair trade-off? If booze by its very nature affects the brain by loosening the tongue, blurring moral boundaries such as I could probably drive home and be fine, and inflate my ego, something I didn't need, do those traits align with the person I want to be? Is this the best I can offer? If you've been there, asking yourself these same questions, I can answer both of them for you from personal experience. 1, yes, it is possible to be sober and have a fun and adventurous life. And 2, if you're willing to be honest, I'll bet you a $14 beer at a baseball game that you are not the best version of yourself you can possibly be with alcohol in your life. Some of us don't have an unhealthy relationship with addiction or alcohol, and some of us at least convince ourselves we don't. But if you're like me, with a real party gene and a mysterious dark side, this is not the best version of yourself. Okay, fine. So what might you do about it? Well, for me, I needed that first commitment to have both a push away from what I didn't want and a pull toward what I did want. I didn't want to feel the way I did with alcohol that 2% of the time. But more than that, I needed to identify what I actually wanted. If I focused all my energy in putting myself in timeout and refraining from feeling good because there was a 2% chance that I or people around me could have a bad experience, then eventually I would cave and rebel against that logic. Because I deserve to feel good. My life is hard and I just need to relax sometimes. And those arguments set me up for a couple of epic relapses. But what did I want? Judging by my questions that I would present to God as this awkward relationship I had with somebody I didn't know, I wanted to feel as good as I did in that sweet spot of inebriation, but not have to poison myself to get there. I also wanted to explore what the best version of myself could look like. And that created the pull towards something better, not just being pushed away from the bad. There's really nothing special about me or how I'm wired that's made it stick now 5 years in, so believe me, if I can do it, you can. Regarding finding answers to those questions for you, there's a writing exercise I found called self-authoring that can help you work through some of those tougher questions, and I'll leave a link on our site or in the comments. I don't get paid by them. I'm just sharing a tool, one of many that has helped me. But if you'd rather not go through all that, here's a condensed version of this exercise. First, write down a horror story of what you feel the worst possible outcome would be in your life, as it pertains to things you can control, not like your whole family dying unexpectedly. But then again, maybe you would get them killed in a car accident that was preventable if you didn't have that drink first. Since I personally have a flair for the dramatic, I went down this magical journey that ended in me drinking moldy soup in a crack house in Thailand with no one I love and not a penny to my name. That was worst case scenario for me. But then write out your ideal life. And I don't want to say perfect life because there's no such thing. Sorry to break that to you. But if you're wired like me, maybe a life full of adventure and challenge and a sense of purpose and ease and joy and family. Because if it's simply getting fat and wasted on a beach every day, then this isn't going to work for you. But if you've dreamed there may be something more to this life than what you've experienced to this point, then I urge you to give this a try. After sitting with those two questions, you will have both a push away from what you don't want and a pull towards what you do. Now, those combined help give you direction and purpose. The road between where you are and what you want is hard. And our mission with Search and Rescue is to help guide you and share some tools that have worked for us, so stick with us. Reach out in the comments, email us, whatever. I'm easy to get a hold of. Our mission is to help you. And this channel and these programs will continue to share more tools and ideas that have worked for other people. So, what do you want from life? Are you ready for change? You don't have to do it alone. Today, September 6, 2024, marks 5 years sober for me, and my life is exponentially better than I could have ever imagined. But yours can be too. You got this.